$80,000. So you guys are in for a good one. Just need to pay attention and implement it. Okay, here we go here. Lily, are you here somewhere? She's in traffic somewhere, stuck on Canyon Road. Okay, mute is on. Mute, mute, mute. Good morning, Hannes.
Hi, Angel. Good morning.
Hope I did this right. Bring this down. And you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yay. When I use my Bluetooth between my laptop and my phone, they fight for attention, like my grandkids. Let's go here. And then switches over to my. All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now I got you on me. All right. Good morning. Let's
Morning.
see. What do I got going? I'm ready to go. Lily, am I going live on Instagram? Okay. The boss is talking. I guess I'm not ready. Let me go here, live. And this is, I'll just call it good info. No,
You're on
I'll call,
YouTube. You're on YouTube too.
I know. Get
Yeah,
listing.
Watched YouTube last week.
Yeah, Kevin said I need more deals. So we lost money on one. I think we lost like $50,000. So he says we need to make it up. I said, okay, let's make it up, Miss Sabara. Yes. Go ahead. All right. So let me share my screen. Let me see who I have here first. I'm gonna say good morning to Eric because I can see you. Reggie, good morning. Hamas, already saw you. Jason, good morning. Winnie, it's always good to see you, Winnie. You're always in a great mood. Ephraim, good morning. Hamash, I can never say a name right. Good morning, my friend. David, good morning. And the rest of you are driving or doing something important that I cannot see you. I like the hat, David. Jason.
Good morning, Angel.
Who is that? Oh, I see Arturo. Arturo's on the second page. I better go to the second page to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right.
Marisela, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I hear your voice. I don't see your picture. So, but let's get going. Hey, oh, look who's there. I recognize the guy with the hat. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Man, for the life of me, because I haven't seen you in a while. It's like I know you're Marty's brother, but what? I'm becoming senile. Man, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Good morning, Craig. Alberto. All right, let's get started, everybody. I got some really good information for you guys, and I got a host here today. She's going to go deeper and explain to you what we have. But does anybody want to share a win? I know that I was talking to Yolanda yesterday, and she has an amazing win. I don't know if she's here. Are you here, Yolanda? Because I wanted you to share it with everybody. I don't hear Yolanda. Okay. Anyone want to share a win? I'll tell you what her win was in a moment. Anybody want to share a win?
I will. This is Winifred.
Tell me.
Okay, I have two wins. One is a personal win. My youngest grandson graduated from Azusa Pacific with honors on Saturday. So that's the fourth one for my daughter. She's had.
Oh, wow. You got some
smart
kids in the family. I'm glad to see.
I know. They got it from their grandma.
Oh,
and also my Google ads are working and my postcards went out. So I'm really excited.
Loving it. Well, Yolanda got a listing, right? She put it on the market and I told her to put in the built-in price reduction. So what does she do? She's got 8 offers. Most realtors only experience 1 or 2 offers, maybe 4 in a year if you have 1 good listings, maybe 2. I experience this with all my listings. So she had to go to my team and ask, how do I handle all 8 at the same time? So I gave her the shortcuts, how to handle that. So when you get to that level, I'll tell you how to handle it. All right. Anybody else want to share a win? Thank you for that win, Winnie. Anybody else? Nope. Waiting a couple of seconds to see if anybody's brave enough. And the reason you want to share your wins, everybody, is because it really helps somebody else. Okay, even if you're not part of the community and you have a win, you want to share it because it gives others the ability to say, I can do it too. All right. Well, did anybody bring a friend today? Because if you did, I'll invite you to my 10:15 meeting. Anybody?
I have one coming.
Where are they?
I don't see her. She told me last night she'd be here. Her name is
No,
Alicia. Okay.
Alicia. Well, keep an eye out for Alicia. All right. But here's what we're going to handle today, everybody. You know, I'm going to touch on it just a little bit. You know, you guys got to punch the fear in the face. I'm hearing it over and over. I talk to realtors and they're saying nothing's happening. I got a listing. It's not selling. I got a listing. I'm getting no attention. Nobody's showing up. Then I tell them what they need to do and it gets fixed and they get attention. Many of you are too afraid to spend a little bit of money on running an ad because you know you're short on it or you have it and you're just afraid to spend it. So I'm going to tell you all, kick that in the rear, guys. Kick that in the rear. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you a quick scenario how to make that happen. And I modified it one more time because as I sat here, somebody called me and said, Angel, I saw how you said how I can make money by running some ads, by doing this, by doing that. But can you elaborate a little bit more? So I did. I modified it again. And for those of you that are tired of guessing at this, remember, there's always the implementation. Join it and I'll help you guys. But this is the calculator, all right? I changed it from the Realtor's Profit Net Sheet to the Realtor's Profit Calculator, because that's really what it is. It's your profit calculator. So at the end of this, for those of you who want to stick around, I'll run some numbers for you to give you some ideas. But here's what we always cover, everybody: how to find the motivated sellers. You know, because when you do that, that's when you're going to be able to introduce the program that I'm going to show you today, that I'm going to be presenting to you, which is one of the biggest tools that I use at my listing appointment. Okay. And you usually should be averaging about 10 seller leads in a given week. Okay. Takes a lot of follow-up, but that's what I do to show you how to do this without spending too much money. I think it's like $5 or $10 a day when you run your own Google ads. The conversation starter to give you a reason to call you. They go to your landing page, just to recap, everybody. And then from there goes into your CRM. And then you start the texting. Not automation. People believe in AI and automation, which is fabulous. But in our industry, we get shut down for everything. In our industry, if we get caught on one, we're paying a fine. So automation and texting might be good for other industries, but for mine, I had to pull it back. It literally takes a live human being, right? And then for the companies like deep pockets, like Zillow, you know, they have the ability to be sued because they can fight it. They got attorneys to fight all day long. We don't. Then the social media retargeting, which many of you didn't have. So I give you the ones that I utilize to simplify it for you. I'm making the pathway for you to get your business going. And then from there, you elaborate. And like many of you are doing well, but you're like a caterpillar. You're down on the ground, seeing everything at ground level. I'm trying to give you the wings to turn you into a butterfly, so then you can fly in the air and see everything down and see your business, that you have the ability to just do a lot. And that's what I'll do. So social media retargeting gets them out there. And then the listing package, when we do get a lead, what we send out, which by the way, I'm remodifying again, everybody, because when I have to send out a listing package, it costs me $7, and I'm all about saving money. So no, I restructured it. And who's writing on my screen? Who's writing on my screen, guys? Lily, can you see that?
What are you looking at?
Look at my screen. Someone's writing on it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. That's weird.
Little red lines.
Yeah. Well, I think somebody, what they're doing is they like what they're seeing, and they're kind of, you turn off your marker because you're on my screen and you're writing on my screen, guys. So I don't know how to stop that. That would be a technical, and that would be Mark or Brian, and they're not here. I'm just a realtor, guys. All right. And then with it comes a free Google presence, everybody. Okay. You know, guys, it doesn't cost you much to do that. And the VA's already showed you. Now I'm at the listing appointment, everybody. At the listing appointment, this is where I'm going to show the tool that I utilize to capture the attention of the clients. And here's the proof, everybody. Man, I don't know how to take that red stuff. It's bothering me. So if it bothers me more, I'm going to get off and everybody has to log back on so you can see it. But I'm going to go here
I think
to,
if you close your PowerPoint, right? And then you reopen
oh,
it,
let's see, stop.
like close the PowerPoint and then reopen it. That's what I always do. Turn it off and turn it back on.
Yay, Lily, you're so smart. Okay. All right, there we go. Here's the proof, everybody. So let's go to all my appointments, and I'm on fire, guys. I'm not losing them anymore. If anything, you see, this was the month of April. You can see I went to 26 listing appointments. On the side, it tells you where I got them, and the red ones mean I recovered them. I was going to lose them, guys. They were listing with someone else. So I restructured, which is what I recreated, and I emailed it to them, and they said, we're going with you. This is what I'm going to teach you guys for the implementation. You're first, and then the rest of you, I'll give it to you after. All right. I need to help my implementation members get more listings because I need you to make more money. And this is the month of May. We're already on the 6th, and I've already got to 2 appointments. All right. With that, I'm going to show you one more thing, and this is what we're going to cover. This is the class for today, everybody. We're going to show you, like, this, it just happened this weekend. This is a freaking amazing example, everybody. I'm about to make $80,000. How? All right. So what I did is I had an open house, and it gave branding for me. It's all over the place, right? My signs go up, but so does my team member. I have 3 drivers, 3 vans, and they go out and put signs for my agent and myself. My team member was at the property, right? And his job is to pick up leads. And I say he because it was a male who was there. They pick up leads, right? And his signs are up. Part 2, I send out my $100 letter around the neighborhood so everybody can see it. Next part, one of the leads that that comes in, they're serious. And now he's writing up an offer on one of them that's cash. I was talking to him yesterday. They've been ghosting him, so he's trying to follow up with them, but they want to buy it. I send in one of the clients that is interested in the property that my wife had received through a call. Remember, you got a sign out there. People will call you on your sign. They called her. So now they want to write up an offer. Prior to that happening, when the lead came in, you see net sheet, when the lead came in, Andy received them, ran the numbers for his client and our client. He went over and explained their expenses. Should they sell a house? That was the whole thing. He asked the magic question when they came in. And he asked, how much did you sell your home for? And you can see their body language, and they'll say, I haven't sold one. So he went over the expenses to sell, the taxes, what they would walk away with. And at the end of the day, both parties were impressed. One thing that he did say, and this is important to everybody, okay, this is very important to all of you. When the client was there, he told them he went into the step up the taxes, the capital gains. This couple owns a house here in La Habra. Hamas, then this is the example Hamas may give you to because that's the client we're working with. They said, well, we can't use the exemption of 250. He says, no, you have to be married. And he told them, why don't you guys go get married so you can use the exemption? And I go, so when I was talking to the client, he goes, do I have to get married? I said, no. I said, do you file tax returns together for the last more than 2 years? And I went down a series of questions. I go, you guys are together. No, you don't have to get married. Oh, thank God. So I had to update my team member, which I'm updating you guys. The exemption of 250, as long as they're on title. I'm not a tax person, guys, but this is part of the business that we have to learn. Let's go back. So during this moment that he's talking to the client, they found out with it. At the end of the day, that evening, I did a Zoom on Sunday with the clients. I did the net sheet. I broke down the numbers, how much their payment were going to be. I pre-qualified them. Okay. I pre-qualified, and I knew it was going to be tight to do the buy before you sell program. Okay. No, the cash program. I knew it was going to be tight, but it doesn't matter. It's a conversation starter. I pulled them in, and now Hamas is going to try to do the cash program. If not, she can still use the one that is buy before you sell, and she'll explain it to you. What does this mean? Up here, $80,000, everybody. $80,000. And for the majority of realtors, they don't even make that much. That's one deal. One deal. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. The open houses are important to you, but there are gurus out there that tell you, don't do open houses. Well, I do them, but I'm leveraging a team member to allow them to capture other leads. You understand what I'm saying? And they brand their name. Hope this is helping you guys. Let's go back to the presentation. So that's what I'm going to be giving you in today's class. And I know you're excited. You want to hear this beautiful lady Hammis tell you how the program's going to work. But let's keep going, because I got to give you guys, I got to set you up where we're at. Okay. When you meet with the client, you have to present value. Remember, when they walk in or you're at their house, you have to present value. You have to give more information than the other realtor. And that's what Hammis is going to be delivering today. At the listing appointment, you know what you want to do, step one, and just to recap, to give you the full visual, you're going to go over the Redfin numbers, the Zillow numbers, and the MLS number. That's what I do. I don't go over comps. Everybody goes over comps, and you all sound the same. I got to change this up. I hope that made sense. The next part is not about you, who's your number one, or your company's number one, or why you're so handsome, why you're so ugly, or her. It's about them, their numbers. So I break down the numbers, but when I break down the numbers, I make sure I answer everything, because I don't want them to go talk to another vendor where I may potentially lose that client, because that other vendor, lender, handyman, insurance company, taxman, financial planner, they have someone who they know that's a realtor. So I will not lose the client during that process. And that's why I call this the secret sauce. Then comes part 3. Now it's the part where you're going to be presenting the rest of it, the next part of your value. Why are they? Yes, you ran over the numbers, but you now need that final piece that's going to close them, and they're going to choose you as their realtor. And I'm going to give you a quick view of my, where is it? We'll go here. Okay. At that listing appointment, here's what happens. Lily, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Let me find it. I'm going to close this here. Let's see. I may have to open it again. On my laptop, here is the actual listing presentation slideshow while I'm there. Okay. So there's the screens, the things that I'm talking about. Here it is, home light. Okay. I'll keep going. I keep going. And home light, I only use home light because everybody knows what home light is. Okay. But New American is it's a lot less expensive. Home light only gives them like a credit card to go buy a property. New American gives them like a credit card to go buy property and gives them the loan. Home light will requires you to go get your own loan. So during the presentation, I bring up home light and I bring up New American. Hammis, are you there?
I'm here, Angel.
For you, Hammis, on my slideshows from this point forward, where it says home light, I'm going to put next to it New American. Okay. So now when I present, I'm going to say home light and New American. Do you like that?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to do that. Let's go back to our presentation on this, and then I'm going to pass this over to Hammis. All right. So during the presentation, I tell people buy before you sell, and I tell them about this product. And this is where she is going to be presenting to you to give you the specifics. Now, I'm going to tell you all of this, guys. When she presents it, many of you are going to ask a lot of questions. Well, how does it work? Because you want to explain it to your client. And I'm going to tell you this. You only want to give the clients the overview, because you're going to kill your own deal if you explain too much. You give them the overview to pull them in, and then Hammis and her team will help you pull them in so you don't lose that client. And if for whatever reason that client's making a comment that they're talking to so-and-so because so-and-so is this and that and blah, 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 she'll let you know they're talking to so-and-so. So now you know you got to hurry up and call and say, hey, that program is only good if you go through me, and try to secure that listing. But I'm telling you right now, on the norm, when I present this product, they don't need to call Hammis. I said enough where at the end, you've all heard me. I say, when can we take the pictures? And they always go, we're ready tomorrow. Okay. So right now she's going to present the package. Hammis, are you here by yourself, or do you bring a partner?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Angel. Yeah, so I did ask Jason Graneman to be here. He's our divisional training manager. He was one of the first ones to actually, back in 2021, when this program came out, to train everybody on it. So I've invited him to give us some color as well, but we'll go through this in tandem with each other. So he and I will do this together. I'd like to share my screen. Good morning, everyone. Did you want me to go on, Angel, and take over?
Absolutely. Well, this is
Okay.
today, this is your audience. But before we get started, I want everybody to say, welcome, Hammis. Yell it to her so she can feel your energy, Sue, as she delivers with passion. Go ahead, guys. Tell her.
Welcome,
Hammis.
Hammis. Welcome, Hammis.
Welcome, Hammis.
Thank you.
Welcome,
It's a pleasure to
Hammis.
be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Angel and team. And thank you, everyone, you guys, for being here today. I have a feeling you're going to enjoy this and you're going to take a lot away from this. And Jason and I, Jason Graneman, he, like I said, he came on board and learned about NAF Cash when it first came out. So he knows a lot about it, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But today we're going to cover basically the basics of it. So when we get into this and I share my slides, we're just going to cover the slides and then, can I share my screen? And then we'll go into the very casual presentation to make it very simplified and easy to understand. Let's see here. Okay. Can everybody see my screen here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. And Jason, say hi. I know you're there.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, everyone. So I want to open this up with a question, actually, because I think it's going to be a lot more engaging. And basically, you're going to relate to this question, right? What would you say is the most common question a homeowner has when thinking about selling their current home to buy the replacement property, whether they're upsizing, upgrading to a new home, or downsizing? What's the most common hesitation that you have come across that's common? Does anybody have any answers for that?
Yeah, will I be able to
Where do we go?
afford to buy a new home? Will I be able to find a new home?
Exactly. Yes.
Are my payments going to be
exactly.
the same? Or can I have, what are my payments going to be?
Exactly. Thank you, Yolanda. Yes. That's perfect. Exactly. And there's many more. So New American Funding came up with the buy before you sell to help alleviate all of those questions. And as we get into it, you'll see exactly what I mean. Because when somebody is thinking about selling to buy the replacement property, that's where we come in. So let me give you a quick story about us. So NAF Cash was formed in 2021 with a mission to help provide borrowers a competitive edge in a cash buyer market. So NAF Cash is an affiliate of New American Funding, available in all states, guys. And literally, I'm still your contact for all states across the nation. So let's move on. So Rick is one of our co-founders. He's our CEO of New American Funding. And after doing all his studies and all his research, he came up with, how can we help more buyers get into their next home, whether again, downsizing or upsizing, without too much competition, without contingencies. And he came up with the buy before you sell. So thank you, Rick. Okay. So learning about cash buying trends in our area, we do, like we said, we do offer it in all 50 states. So this is available across the nation. There will be different fees that would apply depending on the state. We can get into that a little bit, but this is basically in a nutshell and how NAF Cash works. So a quick overview. The borrowers have to get pre-approved through NAF Cash. So they will come to me, we will get them pre-approved, fully credit approved with one of our NAF underwriters. So that they only basically do NAF Cash underwriting, which is a little bit different than the traditional. But again, the process in the beginning is the same. Then your client finds a home that they love. Once they're fully pre-approved, then makes an all cash offer on that replacement property. So again, first step is getting pre-approved. I can't tell you how important that is because it's basically the first step, no matter what, of knowing what to expect and how to get to the next property, whether they're downsizing or upsizing. Once they're pre-approved, the next step, once again, is finding the home that they love and then making the cash offer. Then NAV Cash purchases that home all cash on their behalf. Then they get the rent back period basically does start there too. Then Jason, chime in if you have any additional info because this is a fairly new deck. But so if anything at this point, once they've identified their replacement property, guys, we go in and we purchase that property all cash. Okay. Then once we close that all cash transaction, which is typically, let's use 10 days, for example, they get the keys, they get to move in to that new house. All while you are trying to sell their departing residence. So if in case I've confused anyone up to this point, basically this is how it is. We buy the home all cash on the client's behalf. They get keys, they get to move in, all while you're listing their departing residence and getting it ready for sale. Okay? And feel free to stop me if any questions. Now, once we do close the cash transaction, which I like to refer to as transaction A, we turn around and we start basically simultaneously the home loan process. Because at the end of the day, we're still going to do a mortgage on that home, except we can't do anything until they sell the departing residence, and the proceeds from that sale come into play as the down payment for their replacement home. Any questions so far? No? Okay.
Is there a period of time that is related to the lease back or rent back period? Is there a limitation of 60 days as there are in some states?
It's actually prorated, so we're never going to overcharge them for days that they didn't use. And you have the freedom to close that transaction as quickly as you can sell the departing residence or by whatever means they can close on their new home. Most people are utilizing the program because they have a departing residence as a additional barrier in their ability, especially in California. It's, however, not restricted to that. It could just simply be somebody that's buying their first home, or maybe they've already relocated, and you know that that property is going to be competitive, and that you can get in front of all the other offers by having a cash offer. So it's not anchored only to departing residences, but I'm sure everybody here understands the challenge of trying to do a daisy chain offer, get it accepted, and then, and then coordinate all that and convincing the seller of the new property to cooperate with the daisy chains it's our worst nightmare. And so this gives you an option out of that. And typically, your buyer, you're going to be able to go in much more aggressive on the offer. So I think it's a win-win for you, the buyer, being that you have the freedom to write a cash offer approach rather than, hey, I need to buy some patience with the seller. And that's always going to cost us more money in the long run when you have to ask for additional patience and cooperation from a seller than if you could say, hey, we'll get you down the road 10 days, 15 days, what works for you. And then you can focus on marketing and listing that property as it suits you and your client.
Hey, I missed one thing, sir. Are you saying somebody who doesn't have a house can still use this program? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
How does that work?
Well, it's imagine, especially back in 2021, anybody has like flashback nightmares, writing offers where there's multiple offers. Imagine if you could just write the cash offer, or let me ask you, what's more likely to get accepted? Your cash offer or an offer contingent on a loan, and the waiting period and the the unknowns with regards to that from the seller's perspective, or on your current listings. Everybody in here, I'm sure, has listings. What are you going to lean more on? The cash offer coming in, if it's a reasonable price, even if it's somewhat lower, how much lower would you accept a cash offer versus taking on somebody asking for 45-day escrow with a loan and all the other layers? But yes, you can certainly use this for somebody without a departing residence. In our current market, most of the people are using it because of a departing residence is involved, but it's certainly not restricted to that.
Jason, how long does it take for the cash offer purchase to close? When we put it in escrow, what's the shortest amount of time that it can close?
Average is about 10 to 12 days.
Wow.
What's the cost of the program for the sellers?
It's a great question. In California, and Hamas, you want to just move past and get to that pricing map, if you would. It's down the line. We can always move back and forth, folks, for
There we go.
topics. But we're at 2.6%, I believe. Sorry, my glasses.
2.06 for California.
0.06. Thank you. So California, 2.06%. Let me just take a moment because it looks like some states, we just don't like them very much and we raise the price. That's what it looks like. And that's not true. These costs, not only does it cost to provide the service, there's staff and we're unlike other companies where they have to search for investor money. We use our own money. It's the gentleman, our owner, Mr. Rick Arviello. It's actually his money that we use. So there is a cost to move that money in, pay all cash, and then move that money out and so forth. There's also taxes, the transfer tax that's involved in each state. And rather than leave that up to the black hole that it could be between two transactions, we include the typical transfer tax on properties. And that's the major reason you'll see a variance in cost within the different states. So there's some cost alleviation involved in that. And by the way, any seller concessions, if you can negotiate seller concessions on the cash offer, say you're getting an extra 10 grand or 2% towards your buyer, whatever it may be, those transfer all the way through to the end transaction. So there's no money lost. We're not taking any money from customers, your clients, whatever you negotiate on that transaction for the cash offer that's beneficial to your borrower just moves through to the second transaction where we're actually closing the loan. So use your negotiation skills. I'll be honest, Angel has some of the best negotiation skills in Southern California. So using those leverage skills to set your buyer up on that first cash offer is going to translate into a win-win for them. So don't be afraid to negotiate and what's best for your client.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? If they, I don't quite understand if on the purchase, let's say that we negotiate for them to get, for them to pay like some of their closing costs. How does that translate?
Yeah. So for example, if you negotiate on a cash offer and you ask for $10,000 seller concessions, we're going to move that $10,000 seller concession over. There's two transactions. First, NAF cash. NAF buys the property all cash. And if there's $10,000 in seller concessions written on that contract, NAF just takes that 10 grand. Now they own the house and they place that on the transaction B, is how Mest would call it, as the seller. And they say, okay, $10,000 seller concessions going to your client, the buyer on transaction B. So it just gets moved over to them. It's still their benefit, their money, and you and your client work together to write up the cash offer. It's just from a cash buying perspective. So you don't have to take in consideration certain other lag times that would, approval contingencies and things of that nature that would drag out and create less confidence in your offer. that first offer is written 100% by you and your borrower or your buyer. And it's so all those things are decided by you and them. All's NAF does is they just sign the offer as the buyer, but they want you and your client to decide the terms of which are best, obviously from a cash buying perspective, because that's the advantage. How long you want to close? Do you want an inspection and, time to review that inspection? I mean, anything that would be beneficial, of course, you want to prep that offer for on behalf of your client, but it is a cash offer. So you have the liberties of closing very quickly, which bestows the confidence in your seller to accept your offer over others.
And one thing I do want to add, team, is on that note, Jason, thank you. You knowing it's going to be a cash offer, perhaps negotiating a slightly lower price might not be such a bad idea.
I'm going to stop you there,
Just to
Hammis.
maybe,
I'm going to stop you there, Hammis. Right
Yeah.
now, everybody,
Yeah.
because I get some of these offers because I get true cash and I get my client, example, the one you're speaking to. He tells me, hey, can I offer less money because I'm going to be cash? I told him, if you look at the property and you see over 20 people, and those are all my listings, at any given time, I got a lot of people walking in. Do not lowball me because you're going to lose it. So it's your job, Mr. Realtor, your audience. Make sure you see you have a competitive offer. And I'm going to suggest this. If you want that property sold, do not lowball it because you're using that cash. Offer full price, guys. You want it, you got to serve that client. And if you know that house is this at 800 and it should be selling for 850, offer 855. Because if not, you're going to lose the lead. And I'm sorry, Hammis. In this
you have a
this
great
market,
point, for sure.
yeah, no, I'm seeing realtors that are overthinking it. Right now, Jason and Hammis are delivering a product to you. And I want you to understand this. I want you to have the general idea on how it works, but don't explain it to the client. You're going to kill your own deal. Let Jason and Hammis do that for you guys. Right now, I want you to have an overview. So when they're talking to you and they call back and ask you a question, you have an idea of it. By the way, Jason, I've heard you say this and Hammis explain this over and over. And I ignore it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Because the more I know, the more I'm going to kill my own deal. I'll let you guys be the professionals because
Yes.
you are on my team. And I know you guys are going to help me secure that client. So by the way, congratulations, Craig. I saw that while we're all sitting here, Greg got a response on his ad. And if I'm understanding him, he's booking the appointments. A great job.
Oh, good job, Greg.
Jason, this community here is, I teach everybody, we list properties, right? And I show them how to run Google ads. When they run those Google ads, sometimes we run into opportunities because these houses have no kitchens. They see cash offer. They know they can't finance it. So we get that call. But during that process, some people just call that has a normal house that they want to sell it for cash. We have the opportunity to meet with them and tell them, yep, we have cash investors and we have cash retail clients, which is this product here, which is the reason we get so many listings to sign up with us, Jason. So this product, which by the way, Hammis, I almost think that I started this with you guys. You guys want to got a head start because I started talking to the New American team when we had them that we were using HomeLight and you guys didn't have this product just yet. And all of a sudden, this product is born. So I don't know if I get credit for that, but I'm going to say it was all me, Jason.
We'll give you credit, Angel. We'll give you credit.
I'll speak to that. Rick's not one to rush in and do things to where he has to backpedal. So when there's a couple other programs at the time, they didn't survive. HomeLight did, good for them. But he wants to do it right. And so I was part of that design implementation team before it rolled. And so there's a lot to these things when you're rolling them out. So yeah, very good observation. Yes, full credit to you, Angel. By the way, Angel, I don't live there anymore, but I used to live right around the corner from your office. So I feel near and dear to you. And I know I've been in here before. It's been a couple of years with Hames, so I've watched you grow, and I really appreciate you having me in again.
Jason lives in Newport now on a yacht looking over the ocean, everybody.
Yeah, it's one of those, I call it a yacht, but it's like it's one of those little 8-foot skippers. I just,
Everybody, I hope you guys are really enjoying what Jason and Hamas are delivering, because this is really good at this listing appointment. It will help you lock down a client because the other realtors won't be able to present. Sorry,
I
Hamas.
reel in sellers like, I'm fishing. They're like, oh, I like it, but I have a house. And I'm like, oh, but would you consider selling your house to buy this one? How much do you like it? What would be the reason for you selling? Oh, it's because my house is just too big and the yard and my children. And I'm like, okay, now so you have a big house and you have a lot of yard work and you don't have time for it and it's a lot of maintenance. So what if we get you into the small house? What if I told you that we could buy this house now and sell your house later? And they're like, oh, well, how does that work? Because don't I have a
Right.
contingency? And I'm like, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
And
got,
Hamas,
that's
I,
true, really.
I got another
Arturo,
question.
go
I got
ahead.
another question, please.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, for first-time home buyer, what do you guys need from that person in terms of FICO score and money to come in? Can the person come
Down,
in zero or what?
down payment and 620 or better.
Down payment of what?
3%? Are they a veteran? How about
No,
nothing?
no, they're not veteran.
All right, well,
Okay,
3%.
3%
Yep.
and 620.
Yes, sir.
Oh
Yep.
wow, thank you.
Because this particular, when we turn around and do the loan, Michael, that's a great question. We do either conventional or VA. So this particular program does work with simply conventional loans and VA loans. So whatever those guidelines are to qualify for conventional or VA, that's all we would, consider. It doesn't work for FHA and any other loan programs, but conventional and VA. And here's the display of exactly what the credit scores minimum would need to be, down payment,
Wow.
and yeah. Mhm.
By the
Arturo was
way,
asking, did you see Jason? Arturo was asking if that works for buyers. And you know the answer to that. Tell him, Jason. Do you guys do the buyer loans, first time buyers?
of course we do.
Yep.
We also do second time buyers, third time buyers, 15th time buyers. We do them all.
That was a great question, Arturo. But at the end of the day, yeah, they do everything. And then somebody asked if are we still doing an appraisal? And the answer to that would be yes, of course. They still have to do an appraisal. They're not going to lend on something that is ridiculous. It's worth 800 and you guys want $1 million? No, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, we do diligence. One thing we don't want to do, it's not only us, but you really want us to do no homework and not be involved in analysis and practicality of the appraised value. I'd say it's suggesting our current market, it's not much of a issue. Certainly in 2021 and some parts of 2022, things were getting rather, extreme, and it's not that I don't think property's worth the price. I believe property's worth whatever people are willing to pay for it. But the challenge is appraisals and the practicality and likelihood that the appraiser can do the job. There was a comment, I apologize, I don't remember the gentleman's name, about why not just use a hard money lender. And I can advocate for not using a hard money lender. One, hard money loans, yes, I get it. And there's time and a place for them. But in this, your client's not paying the points up front to have to redo their loan all over again. This is a one event for your client. So they're going to get their final loan through this event, still be able to have the privilege of buying a house without having to sell their house, or at least being able to make a competitive offer, get the house they truly want with a cash offer. So I wouldn't advocate for hard money lenders. I do use them from time to time for certain specific, primarily non-owner properties, and a whole nother edge that I use. But this is a different edge. Remember, these are owner occupied buyers. There are some challenges in using hard money when it's an owner occupied home. Sometimes there could be ethical lines skewed if you feel that the hard money loan that's being offered must be presented on paper as a not necessarily telling the whole story. So I don't encourage that. So there's something to think about. Everything is legit. It's upfront. It's a real loan. It's in permanent position, 30 years, no prepay penalties, nothing like that. You're not going to have a hard money lender knocking on their door, wanting their money back in 12 months or 18 months. Because if something changes, it could be tough. And so I just don't advocate for it.
Jason, I'm going to tell them right now, guys, I do what, over 180 transactions in a given year, right? And all sellers. I'm gonna tell you right now, never, unless the client has lousy credit, a lot of equity, then I'll use the hard money lender. But that hardly ever happens because it's very expensive. It's only for 1 year, and they're required 30 to 40% down, and most people don't have it. So a hard money lender, you'd be not doing justice to your client. That would be the very, very last option. And one more thing, this is a question that Hamis and Jason, that they haven't asked, and I think somebody was trying to ask it this way. All right, so the house is valued at $900,000, right? And the client is willing to offer 975 above list, but they have the equity to cover it. You guys would allow that, correct?
Could you just reiterate that?
Absolutely. So right now, the property is worth $900,000, but we need this property. It's got a big lot. It has everything I've always wanted. And I'm going to offer 975. And basically, I just need a loan from you guys for very little, $400,000. Okay. Would you guys allow me to pay above list price and me cover the shortage?
Yeah, that would be like any other lending situation where, let's just say, take NAF cash out of it, you go under contract, appraisal comes in at 900, price is 975. Client always has the option of bringing in the difference because the lender's just basing the qualification on what the appraised value is. So yes, you'd be able to, make up the difference. Then why wouldn't we move forward?
And that, I think, is the question somebody was trying to ask, but didn't know how to ask it. But I kind of clarified it because that's going to happen right now. Camus, you said, offer less. No, if the property is a really good one and they get into a position where now they have to go up and offer above list price, there it is, everybody. You got an answer now. You just got to call Jason Hammis and walk it through to see how they can help you put that together.
Yeah,
All right?
remember, we're pre-qualifying the buyer with a full-blown approval prior to writing the contract. It's very important. It's actually a requirement, so just bear that in mind. We'd prefer an extra week to 3 days prep time to deliver that before you go out and start writing contracts. That way, we have an educated understanding. We don't want to place your client in an undue position with writing a cash offer. We want them to be able to write a strong offer. So, something they can be confident in knowing they're approved for. And that's a lot of the reasons why we can offer this program, is we understand where your client's at through due diligence of a true full-blown underwrite with their documentation involved.
Right. Exactly. And you're right, Angel, to piggyback off of what you said, everyone, he is absolutely correct in the sense that it may not work for a lot of the properties because it's so hot. There's tons of offers. There's, other cash offers. So yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was going to end it with, that it may not work for all. But sometimes the question comes up. That's why I addressed it. But nevertheless, it does not work for all situations.
Yeah, and there's some chatter in the chat that about being for flips and things. This is for owner-occupied folks. This is not for investment properties. There's other strategies and edges that we have. If you have a large investment clientele, that's a whole nother edge we can talk about offline, or if you want a special session for that. But this is for owner-occupied individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if this question was answered, but what happens if the house does not sell? If their home does not sell? It will sell, right?
Well, that would only happen if it wasn't in Angel's hands. If it wasn't any of you, then that would be a question. But so just to break it down, we rely on you to sell it, of course, or the listing agent involved. And you've done the diligence also up front. So we're going to collect things like a net sheet from you just so we can understand the position of the departing residence and the likelihood that it would sell within, the reasonable turn times. There's we're very patient. We've seen it all by now. So we want to help you get that house sold any way we can. We also understand that by this program, imagine there's a huge difference between selling a house that doesn't need a daisy chain contract involved in the next purchase. So your marketing efforts, I'm sure, are vastly different in selling a home that is not having to be linked to another transaction. That's what we're doing, is we're breaking free that experience. So as a listing agent, you can list this house and not have to, again, ask for any special treatment or special time frames and have this thing be just total fluid transaction. You're listing that house to sell without any of those ball and chains attached to it. So it's just a different experience, gives you a lot more freedom to be as aggressive as you can in getting that house on the market and sold.
But on the worst scenario, do you guys give extension after the 90 days?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So when you pre-qualify a seller for them to buy a cash property, when you're pre-qualifying them, let's say you qualify them for $1 million and they go and they buy a house for 800,000, but they're gonna pay 845 because they wanna make their offer more aggressive. Do they still have to bring the other 45 over asking? I mean, out of their pocket, or they just,
It's all predicated on the appraisal. If it appraises at 845, then we're basing our loan parameters and down payment on that appraised value.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question regarding the owner-occupied buyer and their qualification. Is it full documentation only, the products that you have, or are you doing alternative documentation as well?
Yeah, when it comes to this particular program, it is full doc.
Full doc, okay.
Yes, sir.
And so if I recall, you mentioned that it's only owner occupied. In the foreseeable future, do you see yourselves doing any non-owner occupied type loans?
I've brought this conversation up in the past, and based on my past, I would say it's not likely for this
Okay.
product. Yeah, we have some other non-occupied loans, which I think are very aggressive. You know, my personal background is non-owner clientele. And that's sort of my specialty. So if there's something I work for Humest. I'm not here. You're not going to call me to pre-qual your clients. You're going to call her, but I am behind her on her team. So a lot of things, might come across my desk in correlation with the certain loans and topics and such. So, but no, I don't think it's likely. I'm not the decision maker, of course. I just would say it's not likely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So when we
Jason.
write up an offer for now the client's approved for the buy before you sell, when they're gonna purchase, when we're writing up the purchase for the house that they're gonna purchase, do we just put our client's name on there, or how does that go, and how does it go on the deed?
Yeah, so it's actually going to be NAF Cash, and without giving you the exact spelling, think of it as NAF Cash LLC, something of that nature. That's what's going to go on there as the buyer, but you and your client are going to decide all the terms, and it's going to that contract. Then once you write it up, instead of sending it to your client to sign it, you're going to send it to the NAF Cash representative, and then he will sign it on behalf of NAF Cash, and then they become the buyer. So it looks like an LLC offering a cash offer. If some sellers are uncomfortable with that, maybe they're emotionally attached to the home, don't like the idea of it, then you can educate them on who it's really for and how it works. We've seen that a couple times, easy to get around. If they just don't care, then they're just going to look at the cash offer and probably take your offer. The second contract, there's two contracts involved, is when NAF Cash turns around, they'll write up an offer at the same time, contract. That offer is accepted. The first contract's accepted. There's a second offer already drawn up as NAF Cash is the seller. Then that's when your client signs the actual contract to buy the home. We can't take the home away from your client. There's no gap in time. It's not like we're going to take this incredible deal and go sell it to somebody else. It's all done up at the same exact time. So your client's comfortable and confident that that's their home.
Uh, yes, Jason. So on that second contract you mentioned, that's the one. That's the time when NAV Cash will be selling it now to this client, correct? This is
That's
seller.
correct.
In
Yes,
the
sir.
meantime, though, once NAV Cash purchased their replacement home already, are they able to move in already? And if
Day
so,
one.
will there be a rental to NAV Cash?
There is a rent back for NAV Cash, just like there'd be a rent back to anybody else in setting up the situation. Even if it was just a seller and you're moving in early. So yes, there's a rent back rate. It depends on the price of the home. But what that does is, again, it allows you to, you as the listing agent, empty that listing. How much more effective can you be at selling an empty home versus the family living there and you're trying to set up that daisy chain deal? So that's another advantage for you. The confidence in you knowing you can look at that departing residence and you know how fast you can sell that home if you don't have any barriers of entry for buyers and things that come with that, right?
Yeah.
I got to come home. I got to put my dog away. All those other things you guys, wrestle with are gone because now they're moving in.
Much
So
easier
out of
to
the
sell
picture.
a vacant.
Yes. Yeah.
So
If this
everybody,
is gonna be in like
Go
a
ahead.
10-day thing. Oh, sorry, Angel.
No, go ahead,
10-day
Amos.
close. They actually get keys and they get to move in. And by the way, you get, so the commission and all that's basically paid to you at that first transaction too. So there's a lot of benefits. And of course that can all happen in 10 days, like 10 days, if that's what's negotiated. You could do it a little bit longer, but yeah. So it'll all
Amos,
be. Yes, Angel.
down in the chat, can you please provide them your information? Because they would be contacting you, and then from there you connect them with Jason or whatever has to take place.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, put it on there. Would you let me share my screen now, Amos?
Yeah, of course, of course. Let me.
I'm gonna.
And
Everybody.
Angel, can I make a proposal?
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna get married. I'm already married, bro. Come on.
All right. Never mind.
What's
Never
going
mind.
on?
All right. One more proposal then. Since you've turned me down on that, maybe I can get this. Can we structure something to bring in as a convenience item for you and your team to get everybody certified?
Yes.
That way people don't have to separately coordinate and things. We could just come right in and do it in one shot for you.
Okay. You want to do that in the class format?
That would be great. Whatever you prefer, sir.
All right, then I'll coordinate that with Hamas. Okay. Probably what I'll do is I'll ask the audience. Well, in the chat, everybody, tell me yes. If we get 15 yeses, I'll set that up.
You gotta be Zoom. You gotta be Zoom.
It will be a
Angel.
Zoom. It will be a Zoom, but I need in the chat. I want to count 15. I got 1, 2,
Okay.
3. Okay, I think all right, I'll set that up then. It looks like it's going to exceed 15. So I'll go ahead and set up a Zoom to get you guys all certified, right? I'll send it up in the school community to notify you when I'll set that class up. All right, so we can get it done. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Look, right now, what they just shared, it is so critical. And with that, I also have the other program that I utilize, which is the DST. So when I do my listing presentations, these are the 2 programs that I do every single time. And there's others, but these are the 2 that I dangle the carrot, if I should say it that way, and I bring them in because nobody else is doing it. Everybody is doing what they're being taught through these guys, which is great. You guys can spend a lot of money paying coaches, which is, again, great. But you want to figure out how to get the business without spending a lot of money. And that's the part where everybody's freaking out. How do I do it? And that's where I created the school community. Many of you guys are here through the school community. I'm going to use that computer, the calculator right now to tell you how you guys are going to make some money. All right. But through the school community, you guys come on, you listen to these classes. We don't charge you. But if you ever come across an opportunity, it's a flip, bring it to me, please. That's why I do this. Now, when you go out into the world and you can't find all the products, this is what I give you guys. I give it to you guys so you guys can get the phone to start ringing to pick up sellers. Look at it. When you break this down, it's the entire system on how I run what I do. And I do this because you guys are going to get some opportunities that when you are not going to flip it yourself, you'll bring it to me. But ultimately, you get a lot of listings. That's where you make your money is your listings. Then you wholesale me a property where I'll pay you $30,000, $40,000 for finding it for me, or we flip together. We can work that out. But I give these classes. That's why I have Hamas and Jason right now, because I'm showing you how I run my business, and they're giving you the sauce to get that appointment to sign the listing when you're there. Okay. Now let's do this. I'm going to do the profit calculator, right? Let's just say you run an ad as Craig just got that call. And this would be, and this is what I was telling you earlier, Hamish. Take a look at this. So most realtors, they don't need me, but this is what you should be doing. Besides all the other stuff that you're doing. Is Patty here? Are you here right now, Patty? My wife, Patty. Let's see.
Yes, I
Not,
am. I'm
not,
here.
not Patty, the owner of Hamas. Patty has the same name as the owner to the company. So they wanted to know, Patty, if you're the owner of New America. But
Hey,
I'm
I'd love
letting.
to. No problem, right?
I don't see the difference.
So everybody, without me, here's what you do. Down here, I'm spending somewhere about $5, no, $10 right now. So I spend $10 a month. So an ad. So every month my cost is about $300, and I've upped it, but it gives me enough leads. Okay. So I do this in 6 months. You see 300, 300, 300. Down at the end, over here at the end, let me make this smaller so you can all see it. 85. Down here, you can see I spent $1,800, right? If you can't find people to give you the landing page, the CRM, the ads, I give you the ads, by the way, they're free. Go into the portal, pull them out. The same ads I run, I give them to you and just put them into your CRM. But if you can't find them, you do this, $99. I give you everything you need so you can find what you need. So you're at about $23.94. Michael, you're in the area. What's your average commission check?
15.
15,000. I'm going to put it right here. So $15,000 is your average commission check. If you guys do what I tell you to do, the way I tell you, don't recreate it and do it your way. It's going to break. It's not going to work. Okay. But if you do it the way that I'm telling you, and I tell this to everybody over and over, $15,000, you're going to end up making by the end of 6 months, $60,000. Okay. And then you're going to profit 57. I'm making $80,000 in one damn fucking month. All right. I'm simplifying this for you guys, and I'm stretching it out to show you how simple this is. All right. I'm going to do it one more time. Let's just say you say, Angel, instead of paying $99 a month, can you help me set up the entire thing? This is do it yourself. I give you the tools. Do it yourself. You see what your cost is there? If you want me to set everything up for you, then you come over here and you do this. I'm not selling you guys. I could care less what you guys do. I'm just trying to help you. If I put that there and I take this one out here, I want you to see the cost. You see the cost? It's the same. It only went up a little bit, and your profit margin is still $56,000. All right. And then there's more. If you want to continue growing your business, then you get to the next level. That's when I teach you the VAs. All right. When you use the VAs are booking appointments for me like crazy. Okay. Your leads are piling up. You want more. You see down here, you take up the cost. You spend $10 a day. Ileana, I still haven't seen you pull the trigger. You're still scared and you haven't done it. You need to do this, Ileana, but I'll keep going. Right now.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I just have forgotten it.
And
I'm
that's
not
what
scared.
you all
It's
do.
like I have so much in my head, but I'm going to do it today. And thank you for the reminder.
Well, that's the reason I'm doing it now every week when I meet with you guys. This
Yes,
is
you should do it
it's a
every
good thing.
week.
So let's
You
go one
should do it
step
every
further.
week.
Let's say that now you're ready to do the VAs, and you guys saw what I showed you. My VAs are booking appointment after appointment because they're trained the way I do my business. So when I do the VA, again, it's optional. You can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna give you an idea. You go out there and you find yourself a VA, right? In the first month, let's say you buy a VA, and they can range between 600 to 1,000. So I did 997. Okay, a VA will cost you in the first month 997, but I'm telling you right now, by the second month, they're going to pile up your leads. So you're going to end up going with VAs from that point forward. You can't turn back. But this month, when you paid them, by the following month, you're going to get return on your money. $15,000 is Michael. Next one is $15,000. It starts to become a consistency. Look at the return on your money. You spent $62.88. You made 90. Your profit $83,000. You can still pay your coaches $1,000 a month. That's up to you. But now, when the coaches you're training you, they're telling you what to say. But these are now bringing you in the leads, which is going to be paying the ability to double up on your business, and you keep increasing your ads. And then I put Mark. Mark's not taking any more people on. He's maxed out. So you know that I'll have to get somebody else if you guys need help. Mark would come on and add more income to you because he'd take your business and he'd break it down even more for you, showing you how to run your ads. But he's maxed out. He can't handle anymore. But this is just what I wanted to show you guys. You got to stop being scared. Whatever you're doing right now, that's one source. You need this source to generate more leads. So when you go to your appointment, you can use the product that Hamas has, the New American product. Because I'm telling you right now, many times when you meet with these clients, they're going to tell you, I want to find a house first. Well, there's your ticket. Buy before you sell. Once you start getting motivated and pumped up, at that point, you got them. Man, you got them. You're going to now get the listing sign, and you're either going to do a contingency sale or use the buy before you sell product, but it doesn't matter. You got the listing sign. And guys, that's how I get one after another after another. Look at my month of April. What, 26 listing appointments in here? Let's go back. This is confirmation. You know, and I was trying to retire, guys, but I'm going back into production even more to show you guys, because I think it's my responsibility to show you the business is there. Look at all this, man. Listed.
Hey, good job, 26 listings with appointments. Good job, man.
And look at the ones that say listed. And I revised it, which is what I'm going to talk to you guys implementation members right now at 10:15. I'm going to show you how I revised my stuff, right? So you can see how you're going to, when you get a listing opportunity, what you need to send them to do a conversion and get them to call you. All right.
Okay,
So
I'm going. Hold
so
on.
I really hope this helps you guys. My goal here is honestly to make you guys, I don't think, and I said this before, there's no realtor out there that opens up the doors the way that I did, but I have to be honest with you, it benefits me because you guys are bringing me deals. Yesterday, two of you guys submitted me 2 deals that we're trying to see if we're going to purchase. My son, Kevin, obviously, I delegated, and that goes to him. Guys, did you enjoy today's presentation from Jason and Hamas? Did you guys like this? Let them know, please.
Yes, I
Yes.
love
Yes,
buy
yes,
before you
yes.
sell. It is a hot tool I use all the time.
See, they loved you guys. Hamas, if you're talking, we can hear your lips moving, but we couldn't hear you.
Thank you, James.
Hamas, I think we broke our speakers because we can't hear.
Oh no, how
There
about
you
now?
are. Now we
Okay.
can. Now we can.
Lily put my information there, and I also put my link. So please feel free to reach out. This is really, really, I can't even explain it. It's amazing, you guys. And to learn more about it, let's get you all certified.
Oh yeah, remind me when I see you later. Remind me so I can set up that invitation, and we'll set that one up. Tomorrow's class. Let me see. What was I going to tomorrow? And I know it was important. Give me a second.
Oh, hey, Yolanda, are you here? Yep, she's here. Yolanda Wallace.
I'm here.
Tell everybody
Yes.
your story.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Mhm.
like Angel tells us to go with the lower price when we list the house. Don't try to list it at actual market value. That way you'll get buyers to put in offers. And he was right. First time I've ever had over 8 offers. I still have my phone ringing, and I still have people trying to get in for the counters. So thank you, Angel. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Lily.
You're
Also,
welcome.
now having the tool to be able to see all my offers, that was another game changer from Lily.
And I didn't even make that one. That's Lily's creation.
Her face. Dude, you should have seen her face. She came in and she's like, oh my gosh, my property has so many offers. I don't know what to do. Look at my notes. And she shows me her paper and it's like scribbles. And I was like, Yolanda, I was like, how do you keep track like that? I was like, use your offer detail spreadsheet. She's like, what? And I showed her. She's like, oh my gosh, game changer. You guys, that is the purpose of the offer detail sheet. So that you guys, when you get a bunch of offers, you have it on the spreadsheet and it's nice and organized.
No, it gets better than everybody.
I use it. I love it. Lily, it is great. I really love it. All the
Thank you,
information is
thank
right
you.
there at iView. You know, if I have to reference back, because sometimes when you have so many offers, it's hard to remember who offered what and who were they, but it's all there and I love it. It's great. I really love it.
Thank
No,
you.
not on top of that. She has her own buyer, everybody. She's got her own buyer. So and it's $1 million. It's over $1 million. And are you charging 3%?
Yes.
To your side.
Yes.
What about the buyer side?
2.
Okay, so that's
Now, let me ask you something about that.
$50,000, everybody. Did you hear that? That's $50,000 on one listener. She gets both sides. Nice
Let
job.
me ask you about that. So if she has 8 offers and then the other agents, when she closes, they find out that she represented the buyer, wouldn't she get in trouble? Because I did once,
No,
and it's
no.
like,
You have to disclose, and I told her she has to disclose to the seller. Somebody submitted an offer, and they said they would pay $7,000 above list price. That's fake. I let the client know. When people do this, truly, it's a dishonest function, because if we tie it up and we accept their offer, they cancel on us. No. So as long as you disclose,
yeah, then everybody else will want to do set over 7. It gets out of hand.
yes. And if they do, then I require to see proof of funds that they have the money to pay over the shortage. Okay. And that's, I get rid of those people. All right, everybody. Let's go get some listings. Come on, everybody said it at the same time. Let's go get some listings.
Go get some listings.
I'll see you at
Thank you,
10:15,
everyone.
everybody. Bye, everybody.